I'm placed down in Norfolk, Virginia, which is effectively running the post-Cold War change programme. Let's talk about the politicians. The North Atlantic Council, the political decision-making body of NATO. It's made up of representatives of each of the 28 member states. Normally the NAC, as we like to call it, meets every week, with each country represented by a permanent ambassador. Okay, so this is a table of diplomats and politicians, not military people. The chairman's invariably European. There he is. He's the former Danish Prime Minister. He's called Anders Fogh Rasmussen, and he's been the Secretary General since the 1st of August last year. Now the key issue here is that NATO makes its decisions on the basis of consensus, and each country it has equal weight, so it doesn't matter how big or how small you are, you get an equal say around that table. And therefore NATO only acts when the members have consulted, discussed, reached a decision that's acceptable to everybody. Therefore, potentially, if one country disagrees with the remaining 27, then NATO cannot act. Now, this principle of consensus-based decision-making applies at every level, and I suppose it stresses two key points. One, that NATO does indeed work because we all have shared interests and values. And two, that NATO is fundamentally a political organisation, not a military one. Guys like me, simply the tool of a politician, government and foreign policy. And of course that's how it's supposed to be in a democracy like yours and mine. Moving on to the military side, this is where we run all of our global operations from. It's called Allied Command Operations in Belgium. The top man is a US Navy Admiral called James Stavridis. Been there for about a year now, and the book stops with him. We are running all of our global operations ultimately from this location. So it sits at the top of the pyramid, if you like. First, interestingly, it's the first time an admiral's taken on this job as the Supreme Allied Commander Europe. It's a job that normally goes to a general in the Army or perhaps the Air Force. Coming across to the US and my headquarters down in Norfolk, Allied Command Transformation. As the name suggests, we're responsible for running that sort of post-Cold War change programme. Our commander is a French Air Force general called Stéphane Abrial, and he's leading activity which is described in the three bottom bullets of that slide there, which is all about bringing these new nations into NATO, helping integrate their military with the ones that are already in place, and it's about developing sort of concepts and doctrine, tactics and procedures, etc., so that when we go to places like Afghanistan, we're all singing off the same hymn sheet.